Darius Bazley was an intern for New Balance, and now he plays for the Oklahoma City Thunder, going to his second year. So before we start today's video, I want to hear down below in the comments, what do you think of his potential? All-star, serviceable starter, role player. And let's get into it. What are we expecting from Darius Bazley this year? So let's talk about it. I think we can't do this video without talking about Mark Daignault. I think I said that correctly. That's what I saw The Athletic do with their enunciation. Tell me if I said that right now. Either way, Mark. He is a guy who rose his way up from the Oklahoma City Blue, and they pretty much brought him in to cultivate the young development. And they really wanted him to cultivate the young team and develop it. So I think their playing style is going to continue being very similar to what Billy Donovan was running last year, which is fine. And look, Darius Bazley is the second best player in terms of potential on this team. Yeah, his rookie year he averaged 5.6 points per game as a rookie, but those signs pointed towards him increasing those numbers by a lot because we all knew next year he was going to have a bigger role. And he's been really impressive so far in the preseason. Look, his preseason stats were in 2 games he averaged about 21 minutes per game, shot 41% on 8.5 attempts from the field, and made 50% of his threes on 3 attempts per game, and averaged about 8.5 points. Nothing insane, 6.5 rebounds, about half a block, and 1 steal and a half. Look, nothing's going to insane you, but I think one things that's really interesting is if you look back when he played in the bubble, he averaged 13 points, 6.2 rebounds in seeding games on 27.5 minutes per game. And those numbers when he had to compete with Chris Paul, Schroeder, and Steven Adams on the floor. So, they might not be as efficient, but he's really has a chance of being a double-double threat on 30-plus minutes. I think he's a guy who can average 13 points and 9 rebounds a game this year and get you about a block or a steal a game. I think Darius Bazley is a guy who's been hungry, he's been working, and he's just a guy that I really believe that I think he's in the perfect situation. The only thing I could be scared is if Darius Bazley starts to struggle and Aleksej Pokuveski starts to play well, Pokuveski could steal his minutes and his role. Because they're both these power forwards who are kind of, Bazley could play more of a small forward position. Don't get me wrong. I think Bazley could really play a small forward position, but I see him more as a power forward because he spent the last year backing up Danilo Gallinari. So that's my opinion. Though what I think is going to happen is Darius Bazley is going to play with Pokuveski, hopefully backing him up, or rotations. I mean, we might not see Pokuveski at all this year because I also do believe Pokuveski needs to put on to be effective in the NBA. He has to get to 220 pounds at least. I feel like that's for his size, he needs to be at 220 at least to be an effective, have some weight to throw around. But Darius Bazley, if he can just continue to shoot from 3, shoot about 3 3-pointers a game, which I think is a good number for him to start in his second year, and hit 36% of those, I think that's a really good sign from him. Just means we have a guy that can be a really good scorer, really good shooter, which I feel like this team has lacked for a while, in the sense that they haven't had a lights out shooter, like Steve Novak type. So I know you had Gallinari, but a big man that can, because it's different with Steven Adams not being there now, and this team is going to be a very space and pace team. We'll probably still run the 3-balling units that we saw in the beginning of not beginning of the year, but kind of was the beginning of the year because we saw it during the bubble. That was in the summer, so in the middle of the year. And there obviously isn't Chris Paul or Dennis Schroeder anywhere in this team's Shea's team right now. But I could really see Darius Bazley being a really good defender, a guy who is a really good two-way player. That's the floor if he never catches up. Offensively, he's just a good guy in transition who can get to the other side of the court, finish a play with a high-energy dunk. Kind of how Derrick Jones Jr. is, but maybe more offensively complete. I really think it all comes down to if that jump shot comes around, because if you can get the jump shot, I think there's nothing stopping you right there. It's just you need a jump shot, which he doesn't have, and it's something that he needs to work on. But he has the size, he has the length, he almost has a 7-foot wingspan. I think it's 6'11", and he's like 6'9" or 6'10" himself. So he's a big cat, Darius Bazley, and he's had an interesting way to go to the NBA because he didn't go to college. He was one of the first people to do the New Balance internship, where he literally just hung out, and not hung out, but he trained and he was just interning with New Balance. So it's just interesting when you see those guys do that, because he was taken 23rd, but really I only learned about him because he originally signed with Syracuse, but he chose to bypass and had the intentions of joining the G League, but then he withdrew from the G League because I forgot I made a video on that. He was going to the G League, but then he decided to train on his own as an intern for New Balance for the 2019 draft, which low-key worked out because, like, look, after concluding the internships, he was one of the first people to enter the draft, and he worked at a 3-month internship with New Balance for $1 million. That's crazy. So, good for the kid that he got literally $1 million, just boom. And that's crazy. People were saying that he was like the face that ended one and done. I thought Anthony Simons was the guy who did that, because he went straight to the NBA. Yeah, he was the first person to enter and be selected straight from high school. I knew that. I actually did know that. But yeah, I think this is going to be a really interesting team, because I think it's pretty crazy. I'm just mind blown that Anthony Simons, Thonmaker, and since 2015 is some like Indian guy who's like 7'5", 7'2". Satnam Singh is his name. No idea who he is, but that's a video, guys. Pretty much it. I'm just like rambling here for the last couple of minutes so we can get this thing to 8 minutes, because 8 minutes is such a good number, and we're at like 7. So let me hear what you guys want to hear me make videos, anything along those lines. I'd be very, very interested. Nothing ever stops me from making videos. I love making videos all my life. But yeah, that's pretty much the video, guys. I'm making a bunch today. I'm at like my dad's, so that's literally what my plan is. So if you haven't heard my other videos, go subscribe right now and go check out every single other one of my videos, because you know what? I would really appreciate that. And you know what? I think everyone else, because we're almost at 2,000 subscribers. So if we can get to 2,000 subscribers very, very pronto, I would love that. I'd suck a bunch of fetuses off. Yep. As always, guys, I hope you guys have a great day, because I know I will. Till next, guys. Peace out.